Right. So in the last class, we studied about loops, right? How to use the basic loops. Now we had an overview of basic loops, right? But remember, you can use some advanced type of the loops, like using it in the form of nested loops, a loop inside the loop, right? So there can be any level of the nesting loops. But remember, if I talk about the standard approach, like if I talk about myself, I try not to use like level of the loops more than like three times, right? I go till three level or four level maximum for the loop, but not more than that. Or any type of code, even if any type of code, any nesting level, if I have to use a, let's say, conditional block, if else, or switch case inside a for loop, or a for loop inside a switch, or a if else, I try only to keep the levels till level 3, right? Level 1, level 2, level 3 means if inside the if I keep another, let's say, if or switch, and inside that I can keep a for loop, right? But not more than that, because that is not a memory efficient program. So try not using up multiple level nested loops, right? Couple of nesting, that is good. So you have like a for loop inside that another for loop, so we can easily do it, right? Now where do we use this nesting for loop, right? Where do we use this nested for loops? So I hope everyone can access the chat and give me a quick yes or no if they can see the screen. Hello, good morning. Give me a quick yes or no in the chat if you can see the screen. I don't know whether it is audible to you guys or not. No response from you in the chat. Alok, is it audible as well as you can see the screen? Okay, great.
Yes, sir, audible.
Right. So you can access the chat also, right? In the chat you can drop a message, because if you also like unmute your microphone and I do unmute it, so it can cause some echo. Okay, great. Fine. So here we are going to start with, I'm going to discuss something about first the nested loops, and then we will discuss about the classes and objects. Now, when I talk about the nested loops, what exactly the nested loop means, right? Now, suppose you have to write some output in the form of a matrix, right? For example, I have to print a value like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1, again a row of 1, and again a row of 1. I hope you can see I'm writing on my screen. So here we have this value, right? You can see this is row 1. This is a row 1, row 2, and row 3, and row 4. Okay. And if you look at this, this is the column 1, right? Column 1, column 2, and column 3, and column 4. Okay, column 4. So now if we look at these values, though I'm printing only one, but if I combine everything, it forms a square kind of shape, right? 4 by 4 is square. Now this can vary. Maybe you get a question in your exam where you may have to print a asterisk symbol, a star symbol, and form a triangle, right? There are a lot of patterns question coming in the exams. So here I may have to go and draw a pattern. So this becomes a triangle, right? If you look at this, this becomes a triangle shape. Maybe you have to write a triangle of this type, right? A pyramid type. So this way we can get a lot of questions, or these type of pattern printing help you to understand the loops also. Now, whenever a question comes like this, you may have to use more than one loop, right? The first loop, the first level loop, the outer loop, if I talk about it as outer loop, the outer loop will be working for the case of rows, right? So when it comes to the first row, so when the outer loop runs first time means it is going to print the first row. Okay. And inside the first row, it's going to print then that inner loop will run more than once, right? And it's going to print your columns. So these are the columns. Once the inner loop completes, suppose I have given that it should run from 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So once it completes the inner loop, the iteration of the inner loops are completed, it will be, okay, voice is breaking. Is it breaking for Alok also? Alok, just confirm once if the voice is breaking for you or is it okay? Maybe there can be a network connection for Gurman. Okay. Gurman, I think your internet connection may be a bit slow. You can just try to check once its speed. Because at my end, I'm getting around 50 Mbps, around 700 Mbps, in fact. All right. So just check once. I think your network connection may be slow. If you are joining on mobile phone without a Wi-Fi or a broadband, then it can be, I think, a problem. Mobile networks are little slow. Okay. So we'll come back to this loops concept. So here I'm talking about the outer loop, right? So outer loop will run and it will form your first row, right? So when the outer loop is going to run for first time, suppose I have to print 4 lines. So it is going to run from 1 to 4, right? So when the first execution, when the first iteration is executed for the outer loop, the inner loop will run 1 to 4 completely for this first time outer loop, right? And once it is done, it will go back, right? It will go back and rerun the second iteration. So once it is going to run the second iteration of outer loop, the inner loop is again going to run 4 times, right? Similarly, the third iteration, the inner loop is going to run 4 times. Okay. And the fourth iteration and inner loop will again run 4 times. Now see, the 4 times outer loop executed, but the inner loop executed 4 times in every iteration. So that means the inner loop executed total 16 times, right? But that is not the matter of like concern. That is not the concern thing over here. The main thing is we need to understand that inner loop is going to execute all the iterations for the in comparison to the outer loop. So outer loop runs first time, inner loop will run n number of times. Okay. So now if these both values, the way you give the values are going to decide whether it is going to print a square or a triangle or a pyramid, right? So this way we have to see what type of value it is going to print. Now let's try to see it practically, right? Let's try to see it practically. We'll take a demo of nested loops. So we'll go and write up a new folder, 2020-10, and today is okay, it is 24. So new file, I'll give it a name, nested loop dot java. Write a class, nested loop, fine. And we'll write our main method, public static void main string arguments. So we have the main method, right? So the first thing, whenever you have to write up a nested loop, think about like what your problem is saying. Is the problem having a rows and the column structure, right? Is the client saying that, okay, I need to print some values in the form of rows and columns? So if yes, we will take nested loops, right? So in the nested loop, the outer loop, let's take it as for int I is equal to 1. Okay. I is less than or equal to 5. I plus plus. So this loop, any instructions written in the loop's body, any instructions written in the loop body will execute multiple times, right? How many times it's going to print? It's going to print 5 times. So system.out.println print line. If I'm going to print this value, how many times 1 will be printed on the screen? 5 times. It is going to print 1 5 times and in 5 different lines. See, this thing matters. When you are going to print a pattern, this thing is very important. Whether you have to print the value of 1 in 5 different lines, put it as print line. If you have to print the value, right, in a single line, put print, right? We will write the print method. We will use the print method. So print and print line. Print is going to print the value, will not end the line. Print line is going to print the value and end the line. Okay. So save this system.out.println and now you compile it. So here we'll go for our trainings folder, Java batch 10, and today's folder number 24. So here I'm going to compile Java C nested loop.java. So everything is good. It's not giving me any error, no syntax error, and we will execute our program. So see, it's printing up 11111. Right. Now, since I have not ended up the line, so the prompt is also coming in the same line, right? So if I go here and say print line, it will print the output in 5 different lines. Okay. So how it is working, it's starting up the value of, it's starting from the value of I. So it's checking I is equal to 1, right? What is the condition saying, right? So condition saying, so value of I is 1 and condition says I is less than equal to 5. So answer is true, right? And then it's going to give you the output. So here the output is 1. Okay. Now I is equal to, after that what it is going to do, it's going to say value of I is now 2 because it is incremented. I is equal I plus plus. Okay. So I plus plus is an operator which increments the value of I by 1. It is the increment operator. So now I value is 2, right? And then it is going to be, condition is again true. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes. So now the output will be 1, right? So this is again printed on the screen. So if I think about that, this is my terminal screen where I'm going to see the output. So answer will be like 1, 1. So I is equal to 3, true, print again 1. So here it comes 1. I is equal to 4, true, again 1. I is equal to 5, again true, right? Display will be 1. Now I is equal to 6. Value of I is incremented. I is equal to 6. Condition is false. So here your loop breaks, right? Loop breaks. So Alok, this is something the dry run table, which we were referring in the Telegram chat, right? So whenever you are going to work with loops and you find like, okay, my value is like incrementing, but why this is printing like an extra value, try to form a dry run table. Okay. So dry run table is going to help you out to understand how the value is changing, right? How the value is changing and whether my condition is getting true or not. Fine. So this way we saw that this loop is going to run 5 times and I will get the output as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 in 5 different lines. Now what happens if I do not print a 1 over here and instead I run one more loop inside this? I print one more loop and that loop is also going to print 1, a value of 1, right? So 5 times. So I'm going to say int. There I have kept a variable I. I'm not going to take again variable I is equal to 0. If I do this, it's a logical error because the value of I will be changed. It will be like reassigned and second you will get an error that you cannot redeclare it. Okay. So I have to take it as J. J, K, any variable. J is equal to 0. J is less than equal to 5 and J increment. Okay. J is incremented. So now I have a loop which will run 5 times, but on every execution of that outer loop, the inner loop is going to run 5 times. So how many times this inner loop is going to run? 25 times, right? So if I write anything inside this system.out.println, so I want to print 1 or double quotes 1. So I want to print 1. Now this outer loop will run first time, inner loop will run 5 times. Outer loop will run second time, inner loop is again going to run 5 times. So let's make a dry run quick table over here. So if I say the value of I and value of j, right? Okay, clear, clear. Let's make it clear first. Right. I, here I have outer loop condition. Okay. Value of j and inner loop condition. Okay. And let's think of that this is my output screen. So I is equal to 1, right? I starts from 1. So the outer loop condition is true, right? Outer loop condition is true. And then it will jump into this inner loop because this is the body of the outer loop. This is the body of outer loop. Now that body contains a loop, that body contains some system dot out dot print line, or it contains some if else condition, right? It has to execute. It will not say, okay, I'm also a loop. How can you keep a loop inside my body? Right. So Java allows you to write a loop inside another loop. If else inside a loop inside if else, right? So you can make your controls like this. You can write up your code by adding conditional construct into the loops into the conditional construct. So we can solve our problem. Now here the inner loop says that, okay, fine. Inner loop is not having any dependency of I value in this, right? It's all with j. So j is equal to 0 and j is less than equal to 5. I can correct it a little bit. I should put over here 1 because I'm putting less than or equal to. So in this case, now j value is starting from 1. The inner loop condition is also true. So it's going to print line 1. When it is print line means it is going to end the line over here. Okay. Now, will it go to the outer loop immediately? No. This inner loop will still check. Inner loop will still check. So I will still remain 1. But now the inner loop will say j value is changed to 2. Inner loop condition is true. Print 1 more. Right. Incremented to 3. Print 1 more. Incremented to 4. Print 1 more, right? Incremented to 5 and true, print 1 more. But now incremented to 6, condition is false. So now it will go back to the outer loop body, right? Outer loop body. So here the value of I will be changed to, the value of I will be changed to 2. Okay. So when the value of I is changed to 2, see, your j is again starting from 1. It will again reinitialize up your j. So it will start from once again, that j is equal to 1. Let's print it once again. So true, right? Then again, it becomes like 2, true. So for I is equal to 1, I is equal to 1, j will run from 1 to 5, right? I is equal to 2, j will run from 1 to 5. I is equal to 3, j is equal to 1 to 5. I is equal to 4, j will run from 1 to 5. I is equal to 5, j will run from 1 to 5. When I is equal to 6, obviously the inner loop is not going to run. Okay. So now you see this j is going to print 5 times 1 over here, 5 times 1 over here, 5 times, 5 times, and 5 times. So it's going to print a value of 125 times, that too in a uh, like rows, single column but multiple rows. So let's try to compile this and see the output. Okay, I missed a semicolon. Okay, compilation is good. See, it's printing 25 in a single column, right? In a single column format, but multiple rows. So there are 25 rows because I have printed it in the form of print line. Okay, so whenever I have to break my row, I'll write print line. If I have to keep writing, printing in my single row, so I'm going to write it as print. Now see, everything is coming in a single row. But now I want that this output, which is coming as 1, right? The output I have kept in the box. Can you see I'm writing up on the screen? So these lines, etc., are visible, whatever content I'm writing on a screen. Give me a quick yes or no. Great. Okay, so now this system.out.print1. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I will also connect to this stream, so at least we can know that if everything is good and it is correctly visible. Just give me 1 minute. Let me connect to this stream also. So I'll go to the Telegram channel. We have the stream here. Right. We'll wait for meeting to download. Okay. Meantime, it downloads. We'll continue this. So here now I want that this part of my loop, the inner loop, should print it in the form of 1 1 1 and so on. Right. I want only to print it 1 1 1 and so on. So here, if I want to print it 1 1 1 in one line, right, and after that I want to break my line, so that line will be the line would be breaking here after the inner loop, right? So I have to write some print line method at this point so that it should break the line after printing those 5 times of 1, right? So here after this, I'll write system dot out dot print line. So here I can put a blank print line. Now this will print 5 times 1, and then it will complete it loops. But now there is a statement inside the outer body, which will execute the after the inner loop, right? So 5 iteration of inner loop, then printing up a blank print line. So that's going to break the line. But so now if I go and run my code, it looks better. It will be printing 5 lines of ones. See, so it's printing 5 lines of ones. So you can get a question in your exam, or maybe for your understanding, if you have seen some pattern type of questions. We have different patterns. So here, if you go and print like a star, right? You print a star. So now what will be the value? So now what is going to be the value? Let's run this. So it's going to print 5 stars in a line and 5 lines of your output.